सनातनाय सूक्ष्माय सुगुणाय सुशान्ताय सम्पूर्णाय सुशीलाय श्रीनिवासाय ते नमः। भृङ्गावली च मकरन्दरसानुविद्धजङ्कारगीतनिनदैः सह सेवनाय निर्यात्युपान्तसरसीकमलोदरेभ्यः शेषाद्रिशेखरविभो तव सुप्रभातम्। Bhringavali, the group of bees, Makarandarasanuvidda, having plenty of honey, Jhankara Geeta Ninadaihi Saha, with the humming sound, Sevanaya, for doing service to you, Niryatyupanta Sarasi Kamalodarebhyaha, the lotus flowers are towards the edge of the lake. The bees come out of the interiors of the lotus flowers. Sheshadri Shekhara Vibho Tava Suprabhatam. O Bhagavan of the Sheshadri hills, may this be a Suprabhatam to you.
So in this 10th sloka, what we can understand is all these lotuses are there near the pond. Now what has happened is these bees, Bringavali, they have gone into the lotuses earlier. They've been drinking the honey so happily that they've got so engrossed in it without realizing that the sun is setting. What happens when the sun sets? The lotuses actually close down. So these bees have now got arrested inside the lotuses because they went in search of honey. Now they are waiting, when can we be freed? But because they are inside the lotus, they are still enjoying it, they are drinking the honey. Now Anand Swami is mentioning that the bees are coming out of the lotus, which means the sun is rising higher. It is so implicit, so poetic. Between the 7th sloka and the 10th sloka, which we are in at this point of time, the sun is getting a little higher, therefore the lotuses are blooming. And the bees are coming out with that humming sound in order to do service to Bhagavan. Therefore, let this be a Suprabhatam to you, Sheshadri Shekhara Vibho. That's what is communicated. So we know that there is a direct relationship between the sun and the lotus. When the sun comes, the lotus blooms. But then the author has not explicitly mentioned that the sun is coming. So what can this lead us to? We saw earlier that Bhagavan's face is so bright, so beautiful when we spoke about Mata Mahalakshmi, right? So seeing him, Mata Mahalakshmi is like blooming lotus. Therefore, these lotuses are possibly near the lake. That is why explicitly they mentioned that it's all near the lake. So these are taken for Bhagavan's seva. The lotuses are plucked and they are offered to Bhagavan. So when the lotuses come in front of Bhagavan, what happens? His face is Koti Surya Samaprabha. So seeing Bhagavan, the lotuses are opening up, because of which the bees are freed. So this is another beautiful way of thinking about it. Andal, Kodai in her Tirupavai, uses the phrase Kadarmadiyam Pol Muhattan Narayanan. Bhagavan's eyes are like the sun and the moon, it seems. So seeing the sun, the lotuses are blooming, can have both these meanings. One is the sun is coming up, because of which the lotuses are blooming, the bees are freed up. Second thing, the lotuses are taken for Bhagavad Seva. Seeing Bhagavan, the lotuses are blooming like the way Goddess Mahalakshmi bloomed, therefore the bees are freed. Now, Sevanaya can be understood in two different ways. There are two different meanings for Seva in Sanskritam. Sevana can mean that we want to taste or we want to enjoy something. Even in Hindi, I think it gives similar meaning, right? We can taste or we can enjoy. So, Sevanaya means the bees want to enjoy Bhagavan. Why do they want to enjoy Bhagavan? Till now, they were in a physical lotus, right? They were all inside the physical lotus, drinking the nectar, being very happy. They are completely covered, abounding nectar, it says, right? They are completely filled with nectar in their body. But now they come, they have a darshan of Bhagavan. How is Bhagavan? Bhagavan, he's got a lotus face, he's got a lotus lips, his hands are lotus, his feet are lotus, everything is lotus, right? So they have the superior lotus in front of them. They want to now taste and enjoy Bhagavan. Ataha Sevanaya can also mean that they are enjoying Bhagavan. Okay. In fact, there is one very interesting sloka in Bhagavata Purana.
Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangraye.
Namaskaras to Bhagavan. How is that Bhagavan? He's got a lotus on his navel. That is an identification of Bhagavan. He's got a garland which is made of lotuses. His glances are also as cool as the lotus. His feet are also engraved with lotus. So that is Bhagavan's identity. So he's lotus in many aspects. So instead of going to one physical lotus, now these bees have Bhagavan who is lotus, 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 and more lotuses. So they want to enjoy Bhagavan. Okay, they want to taste Bhagavan. Sevana, the second meaning, can also be to serve. Remember the previous sloka and the situation we are in. What is happening? Narada is now playing his veena, Vipanchi. He's also singing. So music is in the air, it's in that ambience. Everybody is doing their best in order to serve Bhagavan. The parrots were there. They were also saying, Sheshadri Shekara Vibho Tava Suprabhatam, right? So now parrots are singing. Vipanchi music is going on. Devarishi Narada is singing. Now the bees are entering into the picture. So what are the bees doing? They are humming. They are humming, which becomes the Shuddhi for Narada Maharishi. So Sevanaya, they are serving with whatever they can do best. Now, what is this bees and lotus in our terms? How do we understand this? So, what are the important things that's mentioned in this slokas? The bees are now trapped inside the lotus because they were addicted to the nectar. They were drinking and drinking that they forgot that the sun is set. Now the lotus have closed. The bees have got trapped inside the lotus. Now morning, either because the sun has come up or because the lotuses saw Bhagavan, they are actually opening up. They are seeing the face of Bhagavan. And the bees are now freed up. They are ready to do service to Bhagavan. Okay, so these are the three different aspects that we've seen. So what we can understand here is the bees represent each one of us. In our regular mundane activities, we are so actively involved in tasting whatever is available in the materialistic world that we get so engrossed in it. We don't even know how our time is going. We don't even know what is our priority. And then our circumstances change. We are brought into the satsanga of the lotuses and we get an opportunity to see Bhagavan and we are freed up from everything. We start enjoying the actual lotus of Bhagavan and Mata Padmavati. How did these bees get this beautiful opportunity? How did they go have a darshan of Bhagavan? We can again understand that in two different ways. Usually they say that, we have to have detachment or we should not be interested in materialistic things so that we get the darshan of Bhagavan. But in this sloka, when we see Magarandana Saru with the bees are well inside the honey, which is trapped in the lotus. So it is completely into the enjoyment of materialistic things, which basically refers to all of us. All of us are in this world doing our mundane activities all the time. So at that time, what happens? They are also near the edge of these lotuses, which means the bees fully know that it's in the right place at the right time. These lotuses are those which are going to be served for Bhagavan, or these are very close to the Tirumala, where we can offer service to Bhagavan. So being at the right place at the right time with the right people, the lotuses are, the sattvic flowers. We are in the satsanga of the right people. What happens? We get an opportunity to serve Bhagavan. Bhagavan is not seen. Do you want to, leave out all your materialistic things before coming here? Bhagavan does not see that. He's happily, showing himself to us. What is important is being in the right environment with the right satsanga, with people with the same mindset, which can help us go there. Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan mukti. So satsanga is referred to by the flowers being towards the edge of the pond. So the lotuses are there, and these bees are inside those lotuses. Makarandara Sanuvidda. Andal in her Tirupavai also mentions Matrainam Kamangal Matrelor Embavai. In the 29th Pasaram, she says, we have come to you, Bhagavan. Changing everything else is your responsibility. Whatever is our other interest other than you, just change it for us. So that is deeply communicated in this beautiful sloka also.
भृङ्गावली च मकरन्दरसानुविद्धजङ्कारगीतनिनदै सहसेवनाय निर्यात्युपान्तसरसी कमलोदरेभ्यः शेषाद्रिशेखरविभो तव सुप्रभातम्। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैवा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि।